ubiquitous iPod. Now, let's look at the challenge of informed use, use of IT, in particular in the language classroom, and this is borne out from a book that I co-wrote with Dr. P.A Towndrow called Using IT in the Language Classroom. One of the many possible solutions that we could utilize was to look at not the technology, possibly the pedagogy, but how about task design? So we looked at language learning task design, and we looked at a number of authors and creators of task designs in the past, in particular the domain of language learning, and we like Candlin's criteria, which I will read out. This was written in 1987 and makes no mention of technology, but task design, he suggests, promote attention to meaning, purpose and negotiation, draw objectives from the needs of learners, allows for flexible approaches and different solutions, involves target language use in task process, provides feedback and co-evaluation by teacher and students, students to estimate the consequences of task solutions, to promote awareness of data and learning, and to share information and expertise. Now, we utilized this criteria over a number of semesters to develop our own criteria for informed use of ICT supported by good task design. And our criteria are: encourages discussion, consultation and sharing, focus upon process and product of task and learn objectives, integrate multiple media, allow access to a wide range of information, facilitate or negotiate students' periodic outcomes, provide a channel for feedback and assessment, flexibility of when and where learning occurs, and question whether the activities can be done without technology. So we implemented this task design, this informed use of ICT supported by good task design, with many students over a number of semesters in the design of ICT tasks. They then evaluated each other's tasks and provided feedback not only on the tasks but also on the criteria. But this has proven to be quite a solid set of criteria that we have utilized for over many semesters, which is now being utilized for my current project, or one of my current projects, called iPod, Therefore I Write. So let me now talk a little bit about the iPod, Therefore I Write research study project. The research aim is to implement informed multimodal task design that supports cognitive outcomes leading to a wider breadth of learning. It is hoped that some kind of multimodal task design framework will be developed, and also an indication of breadth of learning measured by activities, task activities and cognitive outcomes, and this will be undertaken by interpreting the quantitative and qualitative data that will be accumulated. The current status is the limited use of iPods, but for semester from stage 2 from the first semester in 2007, I'll have at least 24 if not 48 iPods, and so I can then conduct control and experimental groups, pre and post tests evaluations. The current project conclusion, which I'll mention now but I'll come back to it, is the integration of mobile technology requires frequent instances of meaningful tasks that encourage cooperation for authentic communication. I'll come back to that statement later. So let's have a look at the project in some detail. A component of the project was called the iStory, and an iStory is where we can put text onto an iPod, and that text can be linked to other texts such as web text, podcasts, quizzes, multiple choice quizzes, linked to photo slideshows, linked to audio, and later linked to video as well. The authenticity of the project: the students had to create their iStories for students in the UK, in Wales, and these were students that were participating in another of my research projects, peer-to-peer communication, and they agreed to accept the students' stories on CD, and they would take a look and comment on these stories. So the students involved in the iPod, Therefore I Write project had an authentic audience. The stages of the project included planning, evaluating, developing, presenting and sharing, which is linked to something called digital literacy. The topic chosen by the students was about future university. At the planning stage, the students worked in groups using inspiration software to plan the sub-themes of their topic. Obviously, they needed to follow up a lot of their own information with credible information from the library and from the websites, from the internet. And to help them, I provided with them with an evaluation criteria which could also be used in their science topics as well. The students then developed their project using cell phones, they used cameras, iMovie, PowerPoint and the iWriter software. And then they presented not only to their colleagues, the students within the class, but also I could videotape some of their presentations and put on the CD for sharing with the international students. Students used PowerPoint, students used iMovie, students used the iPhoto books and web pages, and the sharing then would be some of that information could be uploaded to the iPod, put on a CD-ROM, or even uploaded to the internet. The CD-ROM was sent to the students in the UK. Let's take a quick look at the iWriter software. You can see that the iWriter software, you can open it up and have the main pane showing the text that you can drag in from Microsoft Word. The pages on the left can be added, and this is the number of pages that will appear in the iStory itself. And if we look at the iPod on the left side of the slide, you can see the text appearing in the iPod window, and the underlined text are the hyperlinks to other portions of the what's called the iStory. Try to limit the amount of text on a screen because we used the video iPods, but also the iPod Nanos are quite small, so text has to be quite limited. But the links were to other text, the links were to photos, the links were to audio, podcasts, and the links were to multiple choice questions. Later we could link to video as well. So the students could create this, and this is the one that was done by my graduate student. By the way, he had 117 pages in his iWriter, in his iStory, sorry. A lot of hard work, but well done.